What is going on, everybody? This is Develius back with a brand new YouTube video, and today's video is going to be a review on a recently released TV show that came out back in February of this year. And this show is Netflix's first South African TV show, and that TV show is called Queen Sono. When I first watched it, when it first premiered and everything, I really liked the show. It had a lot of good stories. It had characters that you could relate to, and it wasn't anything that was like too serious, cringy, anything that was like cheesy or anything like that. It was a show that took everything serious. It didn't play with nobody's emotions. It wasn't a waste of time. The only downside that I didn't like about this was the amount of episodes that it had. Like 5 episodes. Like, come on, man. Like, I think this season should have had at least like 8. But at the very most, give it like 10 episodes, like most of Netflix shows have. Because I know that a lot of Netflix shows have like 10 episodes. Anything more than that is on a very rare occasion. So no more talking, let's get into this review. So the story focuses on the main character of the entire show, Queen Sono, played by Pearl Tusi. I apologize if I got her name incorrectly. Queen Sono is an elite spy agent of a South African operations place, and her job is to catch criminals in the act or stop criminals, preventing them from doing something that's pretty garbage and everything. And while she is an operations agent, she is also dealing with a lot in her personal life, like former exes, still grieving the loss of her mother and everything. She might be actually 5150, to be honest, because in this season she did a lot of crazy things, but I understand why she did the crazy things. It was her job, and she has to save the world and everything. And with this season, we meet Queen Sono, we meet a lot of her friends, a lot of her workers that work with her and all. And all of the characters were pretty good. I liked each and every one of them. None of them were like cringy or whatever. They all had like a backstory on how they met. And I think in one of the episodes, it showed that on an episode where Sono was trying to become like an agent. On her very first mission, one of her workers became paralyzed and stuff. And that really has to suck, though. That really has to suck. On the first day, you see people getting killed and stuff, getting shot in the head, and one of your workers becomes paralyzed and all. Like, that's got to be crazy. And another plot in this season was Queen Sono still grieving over the fact of her mother's death, as it had been 25 years since her mother was assassinated while she was a little girl, and her mother was out, I think, at the park having a good time when someone came up and put her on a t-shirt. And the crazy thing, I would say, like the biggest plot twist of that all, was that she breaks into the prison, Queen Sono does, only to discover that the person who was long accused of being the perpetrator on who shot Queen Sono's mother to death, he didn't do it. And that was a really surprising thing. And I think in the next season, I think we might get the answer as to who really killed Queen Sono's mother. But considering how this show was written and everything, it might throw like a big plot twist, like a big loophole. The only family that she has in this show is her grandmother. And it was sad because by the end of the season, her grandmother gets killed by some psycho lady. And the psycho's lady name, I don't even know how to pronounce this lady's name. Ekaterina. And Ekaterina, she was a security lady who who was like a biggest like Russian leader, Russian heiress by her father because of her family, because her family was a crime family, and you know how crime families are. Crime families can get away with like a lot of things, and if you try to tell on them, you'll disappear. And so Queen Sono, she deals with a lot in this season. Every episode, like I said before, it was pretty good. Like, I enjoyed each and every one of them. I would say probably my favorite one would probably have to be maybe the one where it was like her first day on the job, and also when she was in the arena trying to figure out on who had that bomb in the casket and all, trying to save like thousands of people from ending up on becoming t-shirts. And I would say for what's going to happen in the next season, because it was renewed, which I'm glad because it was a good show, I would say that Queen Sono is going to be on a mission on revenge. She's going to be a woman on a mission to figure out who killed her grandmother, and also finish any scores that she has with her enemies, because she did create a lot of enemies in this show, in this season. I think she will also find out more clues as to who really killed her mother, and I think everybody else that was in this season before with her team will be back, and we just gotta wait until then, because you know how 2020 been. 2020 has been a garbage year with a lot of surprising things happening, good and bad. But we have to keep going. And I'm sorry if this review may seem kind of short, but that's all I have to say about this show. I liked it. It wasn't no BS. It wasn't cringy. It wasn't garbage and all. It was a good show, and that is that. And if I were to rate this show out of 10, I would probably give this like a good, I would say this show was probably like a good 9. That was it. And if you have not watched this show, you need to watch this show, because there's a lot of TV shows, foreign TV shows, that are pretty good. Some are a lot better than the American ones, and that's just facts. And until next time, later.